What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Of course, we'll have to do the audio test here shortly. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Probably not yet, considering it still is showing me in the past. What's up, bud? What's going on? Gonna have some mascot time. Come on. Check it out. It's the kitten, the heavy metal kitty. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is. You can't hear? Good. So, ladies and gents, as the title suggests, this is ideas, concerns, and thoughts. All things considered, I didn't have a topic planned at all, and still really don't. Try to adjust this just a little bit. Just a little wee bit. No real topic involved or planned for the day, principally because the stream was completely and totally unplanned for today. However, it became a bit of a necessity considering my batteries died, and I'm still using an old school, like, battery-powered camera. It was a Christmas gift from a couple years ago. I definitely need to upgrade that, and that should hopefully be coming in the future. So figured I'd take the time to just hang out a little bit with you guys and also talk a little bit about what I would like to do in the next couple of months. That's actually a little bit. Oh no, that's actually perfect. Is it perfect? I don't know. I don't know. Trying my best to get this all straight. Mittens may start to meow because he might want out of the room here. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that right before we get started. Hey, Mittens. Hey, Mittens. Mittens, kiddo. Hey. And that's my foot. That's my foot. That's my foot. That's my foot. That is my foot. That's my sock. And my foot. In or out. Make your choice. Make your choice, Mittens. And you want out. That's what I figured. So, how's everybody doing? It's Sunday. It's football day. It's fantasy football day for some of us. I'm playing fantasy football for the first time in a couple of years and getting my ass handed to me fairly respectfully. As for today, well, I'm about to get my ass handed to me. It's getting close. It's still early, though. My QB hasn't played or anything like that. It's just some basic info. My flex man is up. My tight end, Antonio Brown, is, of course, done because the Steelers need a freaking kicker that can actually kick a ball as opposed to not, be a chuckle fuck. I'm a cat person. Yeah, actually, I kind of am. Cats are pretty awesome. They're cool. Especially Mittens. Mittens is pretty badass. He likes to hang out with me, especially whenever I'm listening to something or watching something. He really, really likes The Blacklist. Whenever I watch that show, he tends to prop up right up here on the arm of the couch here and watch it with me, which is pretty cool. It's pretty badass. I can't complain. And he also, consequently enough, really, really liked it whenever I was listening to a lot of interviews and long segments that involve Paul Heyman from the WWE. He seemed to just be enthralled by Paul Heyman's voice. So take for that what you really want. Now, I want to start off by addressing a couple of things that have come up over the past couple of days. I've noticed there's been, and this has especially been since Friday, whenever I posted the did CKN review it September 2015 edition. First of all, I don't think that's going to become a monthly thing. I really don't think I'm going to be changing up my channel trailer that often. I'm going to get something a little bit closer to official for that. So if you see another video that's short and meant to be something for that, and that's going to be why. Either that or it just might start becoming the the latest CKN video because, for all that they say that the channel trailer does and things like this, I don't really think it's done very much for me. I think it's just served as a way for me to pin videos to the top, similar to what you can do over on Facebook. So I don't think that that's a tool that is necessarily the best for me. And I've seen a lot of other channels that I've browsed around that has really proved that sentiment fairly well, especially for those of you who are subscribers and everything like that. You don't see all that stuff, which is cool. I understand that. And that didn't used to be the case, actually. It didn't used to be the case. It used to actually be that anybody who visited the channel, the newest video would autoplay, which definitely needed to change, considering that had some deteriorating and very poor effects on a couple of things, namely how content providers were getting payments distributed. So you'd actually think that from an economic standpoint that they would want to do that to maybe limit some of the payouts, but I think that it's more of a courtesy that they don't. So I do have appreciation for that. But ever since that video has gone up, there's been a lot of concern, and actually there's been some disappointment in some of the things that were not reviewed over the month of September or over the past couple of months, or things that haven't been reviewed even within this past week that needs to be addressed. And I'm not looking to preach to a choir. I'm not looking to soapbox my way through this stream. I didn't opt to randomly pop this idea out just to, kind of yell and get angry about things like that, considering you guys are awesome. You guys have always been really, really cool. But just to kind of bring you up to speed is, as there is a train now outside that is slowly going through and is just shooting its horn loud enough that I can hear it in audio range, and I'm not sure if you can, but choo-choo, here comes the hate train. I can't get to everything. There are things I want to get to, and if I don't get to them, it isn't because I hate you. It isn't because I hate the band. It isn't because I hate anybody. It's because I just didn't get to it. Shit happens. There have been so many releases that have come out in the month of September that it's really kind of it's not feasible, nor is it logical to think that I could have gotten all of them. We had, in the month of September, close to 50 videos that were posted. I think the final count was 47. And of course, we did the Slayer discography within the month, actually within a weekend. So that accounts by itself for 12 of those 47. So, but even with that said, that is more than a video a day that is chronicling music. There, of course, have been topic videos that have come. There have been a couple CKN reacts. There have been track reviews. We started the What If series with 3 videos. We have kind of done a little bit. We've even done Irrelevant and Ridiculous. So there's been a lot of content that has really come out, and that has been in spite of the fact that I was away for a week. There was an entire week from a Monday to a Friday that I was not here. I was not in the studio, was not present here whatsoever. I was actually about 3 hours south of here. And it also is based on the fact that I'm also working now, and that will be going, the hours there will be going up even further to where it will eventually get to potentially 40 to 60 hours a week. And so that is going to play a part as well. To look a little bit at looking a little bit at the chat here. Why is the quality better than your usual video? That's a funny thought, and I don't know why that is, because the original first couple of streams I disagreed with that. It seems as though that YouTube's video quality is very good, but their audio definitely falters, principally because it's doing it in real time, even though there's a delay. I don't know why there's a difference there. Either that or my camera just picks up audio a little bit better. I really not sure. I really prefer the audio from my camera a little bit more, although I would love to get rid of some of the pop, which a microphone would take care of, but the funding for all of that will hopefully be coming over the course of the next couple of months, since working in all of that, and hopefully we'll be able to develop some pretty cool technology on that side. And I'm still kind of looking at the idea of bringing on somebody to help with some editing and things like that, especially now that the hours that I will be logging will make my time available to do such things even smaller. I know some of you, whenever I say editing, you kind of cringe a little bit because you dig the guerrilla style. You really dig the one take and all of that. But I think that there's a couple things, like especially whenever we talked about the What If series and stuff, where some visual cues would probably be a pretty nice addition and one that would be welcome, considering it would bring the, I guess, the fantasy to life a little bit more, as opposed to just somebody sitting here talking about some dream or nightmare scenario that they've painted in their own head. Although one of my main inspirations for even thinking about the What If game was the I Can Book It Better series on whatculture.com, that rewrites or books better some of the considered bad WWE storylines, since I still will check in on some results and stuff from time to time over there. I have not watched product or programming in quite a long time, but I've tried to stay up on what's going down. But I guess that my main concern about all of the different individuals that have gotten a little hot and spicy about this, hey, this is the reason why there's multiple people out there. I know that you love me. I know that you dig what I do, and I really respect that. I am very thankful for that. I am absolutely happy as piss about that. But again, like I said, if I can't get to it and I had it on my itinerary, then you know that I wanted to get to it. You know that I wanted to, and I just was physically unable, or I was just out of gas. I have gotten burnt out a couple times this month based around that. Yesterday was a very key example of that. As you probably saw, there was no content yesterday whatsoever. And that was because I was just burnt. I was done. There was nothing that I could do. I looked at music and didn't want to listen to any of it. I looked at what was going on in the world of music, and really in the world in general, didn't want to record. I didn't want to be in front of a camera yesterday. I wanted to just relax yesterday. And some people take that a little personally because they have come to an expectation. But here's the thing that I will say regarding that. It's better that I take a day or two here and there whenever that feeling comes than for me to ignore that and then eventually reach a point of burnout where I just decide it's not worth it anymore. Because it's not as though this channel is... first of all, it's not as though this channel has 1 billion views and is making a shitload of money, because neither of those things are true. But this is also a hobby as well. This is also a hobby. This is not a full-time job. If it was, I would be not able to afford this lovely studio that I have. So I would be shooting all of my videos from some street corner, and I'd have to probably pay a little bit to the bums that just walk around and sleep near me and piss on me while I'm recording. So it's better off that it's like this. You have to look and find some positives amid the negatives that you think are there, because if you look at everything through a negative, jaded glass all the time, then your attitude will reflect that, and your thoughts and everything will reflect that. $1 million question: do you smoke weed? Not anymore. Not anymore. It's been a long, long time. It's been probably more than 2 years ever since I last had some bud. In fact, it has been. It was 2 years in May, so it's been a while. Been quite some time. But that being said, and this is going to seem a little strange considering the idea that just came across my mind and everything was burnout. But I was sitting, it wasn't even yesterday, because I was thinking nothing about this kind of stuff yesterday. I did my best to avoid all of this stuff yesterday as a whole, and was kind of bored in the process. Don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those days. Another reason why I think the burnout occurs is because while I love talking about this stuff, I talk about this stuff every single day, and it's something that I apply to my life every single day. It is certainly a lifestyle. That's the thing. People say that music saves their lives and it's a religion. It's not really either of those two. It's a lifestyle. It's something that you opt to really bring into your home, your heart, your mind, your soul, and it's something that you just enjoy. It is something that you love. Maybe you have a love affair with music. Perhaps it's something that you are married to in a certain sense, all depending. If you're a part of the music business, you are in a way married to it in a loose-based fashion. Of course, you can't get a marriage license in Kentucky, but who the fuck wants to go to Kentucky anyhow? And if you're from Kentucky and you're not out of Kentucky, well, why aren't you out of Kentucky? I'm kidding, of course. But another reason why I think that the burnout happens is because every so often I want to chat about something that isn't music. And I know that on a music channel, that's kind of a rough and rugged thing to do. We've done a couple things like that before. And I had that Theater of the Sun, the movie channel, that really went nowhere, principally because, again, at that time frame, probably not the best of times for me to do something like that, considering I was working even harder than I am now. Because even though I'm putting in more hours, this is definitely not the same caliber of physical grind. This is actually more of a mental and conversational grind, so that's pretty cool. Excuse me. That, and there was not much difference between this and that. There wasn't really a large difference whatsoever. And at times, I really don't know if I'm qualified really to talk about film or things of that variety, considering etymology and everything like that is something that takes a little bit of time to really consider. But I wanted to hit a couple of ideas off of you, and there's something right here on my sunglasses that's pissing me the hell off. Some of you might be seeing my eyes for the first time, unless you saw the Kim Davis video, or it's the outtakes video from a couple weeks ago. Those both, by the way, were either shot or compiled while I was out of the studio, because I did have my laptop with me, but I did not have like a camera or anything like that. The Kim Davis one was shot on my phone, of all things. But here's a thought for you. This is just out in left field. Don't take anything from this unless it really becomes a bona fide smash hit of an idea. Who the hell is this? What the hell is that? Okay. I'm sitting out there. I'm having a smoking a cigarette, and I'm thinking to myself, what if what really needs to happen is that I just have a couple of other channels to outlet other things on, as opposed to just being musically based. I know a lot of people seem to react and respond and kind of dig whenever we talk about some stuff that's going on in the world, some politics, either that or some of the current events that this world has unfortunately given us, because this world never stops turning. It never stops turning, and things continue to occur. So I almost thought, well, I didn't almost thought, I thought that maybe something similar to CKN versus the world would be in order. And you might say that seems very similar to Ash versus the Evil Dead. And that's principally because that's where I sort of got the title from. I thought to myself, maybe Theater of the Sun should be the official home of reviews of every single episode of Ash versus the Evil Dead. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to go down. I'm just brainstorming at this stage of the game. But CKN versus the world, we tackle different topics, and there maybe is a video a week or a video every 6 days or something like that, where a different topic is tackled. And that's it. That's very, very simply put it. So similar to maybe the Thought Buffet, what that was whenever that series was running on this channel, which was short-lived, principally because I think it was something that was a little bit too, it wasn't its own independent channel idea, or it's not what the channel was really built on. It wasn't what it was all about. So it was a bit out in left field, out of character, out of sorts. One of these things was not like the other, didn't really fit. So yeah, we did do. I see a lot of people talking about Mastodon. There was a the discography review on Mastodon that's in there. That's all in there. Might go back and watch CKN's reviews on them. They were done a couple years ago, so the setting will be a little different. But I did enjoy. I enjoyed those albums a good bit. And then, of course, you're going to see a gradual shift in setting with the last one. You know, many people are saying just start a new playlist and stuff like that, and I have done that with a lot of different things. But another thing that I will state about that, and I do thank you for that suggestion, is the fact that on a channel that's dedicated to music, it kind of gets mired in the background for one, and I have a ton of playlists to boot already. I mean, there's a lot of playlists on the CKN channel, maybe not Watch Mojo style playlists where every single goddamn thing's a fucking playlist, because they're insane. They're absolutely insane. I don't see how any of those playlists actually get run. You know, I don't know if any person is sitting up and power marathoning 3 or 4 hours of Watch Mojo top 10s. I shouldn't bite the hand that just fed me, you know, about a month and a half ago, but it's just the truth. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's so much. There's a lot. Have you ever looked through their playlists? Don't do it now. Don't do it now. Don't give them the channel views and all that other garbage, but it's nuts. It's nuts. To try to find something that you really want to see, it takes forever. You're almost better off just typing in what you're looking for in the search bar and then just putting Watch Mojo at the end of it, because chances are they've probably done a top 10 on it. They've essentially monopolized the market, although they haven't monopolized the market, considering everybody else, myself included, could probably do some of the lists a little bit better. Might not have the production mojo, might not have the production magic that's associated with it, but as some people have said, the lists can be a little bit typical. But man, oh man, it's something where just like CKN versus the world kind of just prompted me to think, why the hell not? Might be something fun to do, and I think that one of the main reasons why Theater of the Sun may not have worked as well is considering there was no actual link to the Cover Killer Nation name, and there's the whole idea of building a brand. But it's funny how you get any sort of inspiration or thought. I was watching a video yesterday entitled Cringe Compilation number 4, I think it was. It was a compilation of videos that were made by users that kind of made you cringe a little bit, as the title would suggest, because they were either awkward or people were taking some of their passions a bit too far, and probably one of the favorites that these compilations include are folks that are nerdy, neckbeard, fedora wearing, My Little Pony obsessed individuals. That seemed to be their real target audience a good bit, but not all of them were really that way. There was one video where an individual he actually dedicated some of his life to making I think it was like a flash animation for a happy birthday for a person that he was interested in that had a boyfriend, and then made a recommendation for her to check out another YouTube channel that actually lasted like 10 seconds, or maybe no, it was longer than that. It was like 20 to 25 seconds, because this person that he was recommending had 17 different sub channels. And I'm not aiming for that. You need to understand, I'm not aiming for 17 different sub channels. Hell the fuck no. We do not need a portal into every single goddamn thing that Cover Killer Nation says or does. We don't need CKN on the chair or CKN on the couch just bullshitting about the fact that he's watching Jeopardy and some dickhole doesn't realize that the capital of Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. Although that may amuse some people, it's not going to be something that most people are going to look at and be like, that guy's pretty funny. They're going to be more like, this guy's kind of an asshole she's on television. Are you on television? Fuck that shit. Hell no, that's not what it's all about. That is not what it's all about, god damn it. But it's still something that made me think that maybe Theater of the Sun sucked because it should have been called CKN Movies or something like that. Something ridiculous of that variety. It's something that sounds so goddamn stupid simple, but would have made people understand, or would have, brought people around and thought, oh, okay, that's Cover Killer Nation. That's the music guy. He's talking about movies. That's cool. That makes sense. Similar to like how Cinemassacre with AVGN, Mike Maytai and all them, how instead of calling it Mike and Jim or James and Mike Games or something like that, called it Cinemassacre Extras or something of that variety, instead of it being called like Motherfucker Mike. Would have worked for him, considering that's a name that he is pretty well known by throughout the series that the AVGM has done, but especially Board James, but it's not really the point. It's the whole identifiable idea. Smoosh, they have like 20 channels. Oh my lord. Oh man. Glass Metropolis, I'm going to say something in a moment after I say, Renato, what up, brother? Thank you. It is cold here. It's been cold for the past couple days. And this is one of the few, in fact, I think I only have like 1 or 2 long sleeve heavy metal shirts. And that needs to change. So that will be changing in the future. But I love putting this one. I actually got this. I got this from a friend of mine, if I remember correctly. I think it was too big for her. This was years ago. I think it was too big for her. Like, it was like a dress. And she just didn't want it. She didn't want it. I was shocked. Either that or I had an Immortal shirt before that was short sleeve. I forget. That might have been what it was, because I remember having an Immortal shirt that was small on me. Like, you could see my stomach. It almost looked like I was trying to, like, pick up dudes in an Immortal shirt. Like, hey, baby, you like black metal too? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, you find another guy that likes Immortal and wants to have a good time. What the fuck? Take a little time, have a little fun. No, just saying. But anyway, Smoosh has like 20 channels. That's not surprising, really. It really isn't. PewDiePie just has the one channel, right? Like, he's the true representative to the one channel model. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. I'm probably very wrong about that. Yeah, I do have a Nagelfar long sleeve. That's the second one that I have, and that's it. That's the extent of them. I don't have any more. I need to find that shirt too. We have had some issues over here, or somebody within this complex has destroyed the washer and dryer here. So fortunately enough, I have been unwilling to part with any of my music shirts, as well as a lot of my shirts, really, because for one, they fit, and for two, I like them. They're comfortable. And for three, my father loves going to radio festivals and stuff like that. He's big into ham radio and stuff like that. And my mother is right now spending time in Europe. She's going to a lot of holy places such as Fatima, Lourdes, and Medjugorje. They just love to call me up and say, yo, tell me a couple things you like. And it doesn't matter if I say to them, this is my family for you. It doesn't matter if I say to them, Mom, Dad, I don't like shit. Only thing I fucking like is going to sleep, jacking myself off, and eating pizza. And they would somehow come home with a shirt that involves sleeping, pizza, and jacking off. Though the last one would probably be the third on the list. So I got shirts aplenty. But still, someone actually fucked up the washer and dryer in this complex. So even if I do find my Nagelfar shirt, it probably needs washed, and it's going to take some time, which sucks. Sucks big cock, buddy, considering I'm going to have to laundromat it, which once again just ruins everything whenever it comes from a time perspective, considering I don't want to spend 3 to 4 hours in a fucking laundromat doing 20 loads of clothes. That's ridiculous. That's insane. I just got a notification. Somebody likes a video. Good for you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Owl lamp. The owl lamp isn't mine. That's my girl's. I have not listened to the Wasp album yet, man. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it. We're going to get into what is coming in the next couple of days here very soon. I contemplated doing like a CKN versus WWE channel as well. But I don't watch it enough. You know, I think if there'd be anything else, it'd probably be CKN versus the world, just as generalized topics. And then, I don't know, maybe just make a Mittens channel for the fuck of it, because he's a funny little fuck. He's a funny little fucker. It'd be really, really funny to do that. I'd post seldomly on that, though. It really wouldn't be worth it. Plus, you guys need to see him. You guys need to see Mittens. Mittens is the man. Yeah, I thought about that. I thought, why not? You know, 1 or 2 more channels just for shits and giggles. Update it only, you know, every so often. You know, maybe do a blog thing. Who gives a shit? It would just be for variety's sake. And actually, it would be more so, and don't take this the wrong way, it would be more for my sake than yours. Considering talking about one topic over and over and over again sometimes gets to be a little bit monotonous. And I experienced this at the music store, too, whenever I worked at FYE. You would talk about something so often that it can sometimes get to be a little bit frustrating. And the only thing that was better about that is the fact that there's somebody else there that you can sort of gauge their reaction and stuff like that. I really don't do much in the way of collab, which I've been aiming to maybe change up, but hasn't really happened as yet. Trying to keep myself busy is what it is. Trying to keep myself busy. But all right. Whole Wheat Bread, the best punkish band ever. I had, speaking of punk, I went up and saw my old manager whenever I worked at FYE for like the first time in 7 months on Friday. It wasn't the first time I've been up there in 7 months. It's the first time I caught him, even though he's been working 50 a week pretty steadily for the past 7 months. I just have bad timing. Either that, I probably caught him on lunch breaks and stuff. Because looking back, the timing was perfect for that. And he just got to see, like, one of the lone things that he's gotten to do this year that has not involved watching FYE go to ruin because they've made poor choices like a bunch of dumbasses. He got to see television. He got to see television perform live, which is pretty awesome. That's pretty sweet. Digging the fact that he got the opportunity to go up to that. He's a big guy with stuff like that. You know, I figured he was going to tell me he's got to see Paul McCartney for like the 55th time, or, you know, maybe he got to see like Cheap Trick or something like that, because his top 5 is certainly a unique one. I figured he'd also try to, I think the Who went through here recently. I figured he'd try to check that out, but, you know, just the timing and everything like that. But, yeah, if I don't get to the stuff that you're talking about, again, you got to realize it's got nothing to do with you. Got nothing to do with you. Got everything to do with me, with my time and what I'm able to do. So I'm not saying don't request things, because I do at times get very inspired to do something based around requests. But this has just really necessarily been a kind of a bad month for that, considering there has been so many that I wanted to talk about and I didn't get to close to all of them. You know, as that video on Friday night really showed, we did 25 album reviews alone in the month of September that were new material. You know, that was new band albums, should I say, not new bands, period. And 47 videos in general. So 25 between August the 31st and October the 2nd were album reviews. 12 of them were Slayer. To add on to that, so that's 37. And then another 10 or so topic videos, 10 to 13. You know, you have that spread around your CKN reacts, the 3 what ifs, the relevant or ridiculous that we did on heavy metal feuds. We did, of course, the outtakes video. We did the Kim Davis deal. Yeah. So that's enough talking about how this past month has damn near killed me. We need to talk about what these next couple of days are really, why I'm waiting for my batteries to charge up, should I say. That's probably the best way to put this. Why, Cover Killer Nation, are you waiting for your batteries to charge up? And it's because there's a lot going on. First of all, I'm still winning fantasy football, and by a wider margin. That is excellent. I'm happy to hear that. Let's get the fuck out of here. Hell yeah. Okay. So there's still some stuff from this past week that I need to get to. That I have some things that are available to me. And I've listened to some of them already. In fact, I had one video that I was beginning the process of talking about whenever the batteries decided that they were going to hit the bricks and go fuck themselves. So that kind of sucked quite a bit because I was rolling a little bit through that Dealy Whopper. So we have the Winery Dogs' second album entitled Hot Streak that we need to talk about. Well, that I want to talk about, should I say. We have Clutch's Psychotic Warfare. Or is it Psychic Warfare? That one is not yet done. And then the new Seven Dust album. I've had a lot of you say that you wanted to hear something about the new Seven Dust album. And I know a lot of you have requested Glory Hammer, and I know a lot of you have requested Metal Allegiance. Metal Allegiance will probably not get done, sadly. Glory Hammer is kind of a if all goes well, hopefully that will get done. That will happen. I would have loved to have done Metal Allegiance. I just ran out of time. And the fact that here we are, it's Psychic Warfare for Clutch. Wasp's Golgotha would be nice. Man, there's just a shitload this week, man. It was crazy. Some people recommended Atom by Satan. Just not going to get to all of it. Just not going to get to all of it. I've had a lot of you want me to talk about Kill the Flaw by Seven Dust, though. Wow. I was really, really surprised by that. I figured Seven Dust was kind of a passing thing. I was shocked more that I had so many of you ask me to do Seven Dust's Kill the Flaw than For Today's Wake. And that still is a bit surprising. Some of you want Malevolent Creation. That's probably not going to happen. Fit for an Autopsy probably isn't going to happen. So that's just to try to catch up from this past week. And then we have this coming week, which we have a couple of things. I don't think that it's nearly as heavy as these past few have been. So it might be an okay time to maybe get to a couple of those old ones. But the two that I see that are right in front of me, that I really would like to, I would really enjoy talking about are the new album by Vreed, which I don't think I did it on the CKN Facebook page. I think it was just on my channel, my personal page. They had a single that they dropped that's really, really strong, and also the Judas Table by Antimatter. Antimatter's fantastic. They're a really, really good band. I would recommend them to just about anybody who likes something that's a little more unconventional. It's a little more low-key. Don't get me wrong, but I really dig the stuff. I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely one that's for a certain subsect, so that might not even be really high priority, but they're a really cool band. And then we move on to the 16th, and probably going to talk about the new Grave album. A lot of you want me to talk about Shining, so we might have to do that. International Black Jazz Society. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty neat. I'm going to have to switch this up because I'm reading from a page here. This is how I have to keep myself together, by the way. Oh, no, there's another Black Tide album. Oh, fuck. Last time I reviewed Black Tide, that was a catastrophe. Saxon, there's a new Saxon. Circle to Circle. That's a live album from Pagan's Mind. They're pretty decent. I dig them. Yeah, these next couple weeks are looking to be a little bit all right. Oh, there's new Gorod, too. That's still the 16th. Good Lord. And there's Striper. People want me to talk about Striper, and I don't know why. But maybe I will. I don't know. Why not? Like I said, this is all stuff that I would like to talk about, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. Doesn't necessarily mean that I can do it all, because I don't know what's going to happen with work. There might be some nights where I'm out a lot longer than I expect, and then there might be other days where I'm home earlier. This is not a conventional 9 to 5. It's not something where I am logging hours based around punching a time clock. This is very much one that's based highly on my effort. You know me, I'm not going to be one that's going to sit down and just hope the hell that shit happens. I'm going to be one that really throws that out there. Now, I see some of you talking about device, and I am not a human being. I see some of you talking about the angry videos. Aborted are working on new stuff, by the way. That is true. I am very happy, before we get into the next and final thing for the night. Megadeth, their album coming out in January is awesome. I'm really, really happy that that's happening. Principally because it starts off the year on the right foot. Because I don't know what's going to happen whenever we get into next year. So much has dropped. Like, literally, so much has come out. And there's still stuff that's left. Don't get me wrong. It's not as though this year is done, that we've made it. No, no, we've not made it. No, not whatsoever. If you think that we made it, there's a Sun album coming out in December, for fuck's sake, including a Baroness album as well. And Megadeth is being surrounded, by the way, by albums from Cloudscape, Borknagar, and Primal Fear. Oh, baby! And there's a Def Leppard album coming out the last day of November. For those of you who want me to review that, if you're going to expect me to be kind of happy about it, there's a good chance it probably won't be. Their recent material, in my opinion, has sucked big dick. Oh, there's an Autopsy album, too. That's good. Man, I feel like I'm actually a little bit behind. Oh, and of course, the Swallow the Sun 3-album set of Doom. That review is going to either be 27 minutes long, or I'm going to have to do one for each. No, I can't do that. I can't do one for each album. That's ridiculous. It's insane. I tried that with the last Baroness record. It didn't work out very well. It really didn't. It really didn't. Do I know what space metal is? Why are we talking about Hawkwind, Gary Coleman? Why are we talking about Hawkwind? Son and Baroness. Jesus! We coming for you! Oh, whoa. Can't do that. South Africa. I would like to review a band from the heart of darkest Africa. One where the language barrier is severely lacking. I want the band to be called, like, Clickbait or something like that. That'd be really funny. Be really, really funny. Call it, like, Jungle to Jungle. Their second album would be called Jumanji. Be really funny. So a lot of you have been talking in there about the angry reviews, the angry stuff, the stuff where I rage out. Rah, 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 rah. Well, have I got something for you that I will spoil for you guys? I don't know if you just heard that, but that was like a groan of dissatisfaction right after I said I'm going to spoil it. Maybe it isn't spoiling. It's something that you can actually get excited about, because I don't want to do just album reviews over the course of the next day or so. Many of you are probably here from the Cover Killer Nation Facebook page. And if you are not, I would recommend that you get over there and you bring your friends over there too. And I'm watching the playback of what just happened, and that was really funny. But there was a thread over there where I stated something or asked a question, a very specific question. I'm going to get to the question so I do not screw it up. The question read, it read something. Who are some of the biggest rock/metal douchebags of this year? Keep it in 2015, nation, and cite reasons to make your case. And if you agree with the choice, to like that post. If you're not over on the Cover Killer Nation Facebook page, get there. If you are there and didn't see that post, I am pinning it to the top right now. Why do I need that information? Well, it's very, very simple, because in the next couple of days, we are approaching the 1-year anniversary of the 10 of the biggest rock and metal douchebags video. Now, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I can hear it. Don't you do an end of the year list for that? Anyhow, I do. And I will be doing that once again. However, I want to do an annual thing in October chronicling the biggest rock and metal douchebags of the year. The list that happens in December, that is alongside the top 35 or 40 or 10,000, whatever it's going to freaking be this year, and all those other ones are going to be throughout the whole of music. So that's going to include your pop stars. That's going to include your rappers. That's going to include the individuals that think that they have talent and think that they're relevant. Azalea Banks. And so that will be one that will probably be largely devoid of rock and metal, all depending on how these next couple months go. But we've had a lot of rock and metal stuff that has been very disapproving here in 2015. And really, you can go anywhere between November of 2014 to October of 2015. The reason why that I want all of that, is because here in a couple of days, that top 10 list is going to be coming. And that top 10 list will be here. And that top 10 list will be incredible. It will be a return to anger. It will be a return to something that is unstructured, unbridled, and completely off the chain, uncensored, 100% uncharacteristic anymore, and insanely crazy. Basically, if you remember the Trivium Silence and the Snow review, just think that before I hit record on that video, I was influenced by this guy right here. Because that was the whole motif of the Trivium video, that I was being influenced by Flowey from Undertale. Because I needed to have fun with that one. I needed to have fun with that video simply because after listening to Trivium, the disappointment that I had was not so much so great that I couldn't contain myself, but it has been kind of a while since I've gone off the grid and off the cuff and just angered myself so much that it really reflected very well in the video. I think the last time we saw that in some scope was Now 55. You know, it was kind of a funny thing to think that the only way CKN can be angry is if he's influenced by an outside source, or that perhaps that's what he's been influenced by this entire time. Of course, I'm just spoiled that. That's not the truth at all. Not at all. But this video will no doubt possess that level of enraged, yelling, screaming, going off the fucking chain. And I will say that in spite of all of the opinion, in spite of all of the choices that you grant to me, that Hugh grants to me, there will be one that I already have in mind that is on the list regardless to whether or not anybody even mentions them. And it is a them. It is a them. Principally because even though they may not necessarily fit the mold that we're aiming for in this video. Their actions, their words were despicable enough to warrant a place on this list. They were despicable and cowardly enough to earn a place on this list. So, in reality, are we looking just for the top 9 from you guys? No. No. Because you know me. If I find 2 that have equal douchebaggery, I will be more than pleased, more than happy and willing to do 2 in 1. Make them essentially a douchebaggery fuckfest. And maybe if there's 3 of them, it'll be a douchebaggery threesome or a douchesome. Who knows? Who knows? Choo-choo, motherfucker. That just indicated to me that you could hear that train. Yeah, the chain and the train. Well, ladies and gents, looking at my battery situation over here, I'm pretty close to where I need to be. That way I can start making some of this content for you guys. Like I said, if one of the albums that were mentioned in here doesn't end up being reviewed, don't get mad. Don't get upset. Know that I've tried. And remember that it's better that maybe I missed something and avoid burnout, avoid not wanting to do this ever again. Because I've had thoughts. I've had thoughts in the past 5 years. It's better that I miss a couple of them because I'm going to make a video about stuff that I missed anyhow. That's guaranteed. I've been talking about that for months. That's going to still happen. Shit just needs to slow down a little bit for me to actually dedicate the time to it. Rise Records. Before I go, Rise Records. Haverin. Maybe I'm just an asshole and I've missed something. What's the deal with Rise Records? I know that there was, this has nothing to do with Rise Records. I know there was a chick that actually scammed people out of like $3,000 because she said she had cancer. Said she had cancer or something like that. I read the story. I was like, holy shit, that's fucked up. What time is it? It is about 3 o'clock. It is about 3 o'clock p.m. on Sunday afternoon here currently. So I will have a number of hours where I can make some content. Will I spend every hour doing that? Hell no. I got other stuff I got to handle as well. That's why I keep looking at my phone, actually, just in case. I have a couple other things that are slated on my docket. In fact, I do have to give my old man a call. We were supposed to work on a pair of shelves today, but he may be out of commission. Let's see here. Oh, the Pope. The Pope is going to be in November. That's going to be pretty sweet. It's going to be pretty sweet. Hey, Brian Ragland. Yes, man, I love the pictures. Like I said, I am going to put those in something in the future. So definitely keep on watching. I'd like to throw those somewhere on a video. So you're going to be live and in person. Well, not in person, but your pictures are. But I'm being summoned. I got to roll, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace.